Our top focus this morning is on the Delhi Police Special Cell busting a Pakistan organized terror module in a joint operation with the Uttar Pradesh ATS. Police has revealed that the whole terror plot has Pakistan's imprints all over it. 6 people have been arrested, with 2 among them being trained by the Pakistan ISI. Not only that, Anis Ibrahim, the brother of Dawood Ibrahim, presently based in Pakistan, was in touch with the underworld to coordinate the whole operation. Police has now exposed a new modus operandi adopted by Pakistan's ISI that involves training radicalized Indian youth. Pakistan-trained terrorists were tasked with conducting reconnaissance of different suitable locations in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh for placing the IEDs. Now, the underworld operative Samir, who was a close contact of Anis Ibrahim, was tasked with ensuring smooth delivery of IEDs and explosives to other terrorists. Police, moreover, have also traced the money used by terrorists to Dawood's brother, who had pumped lakhs for the coordinated attacks.
केंद्रीय एजेंसी से हमें एक इनपुट मिला था कि भारत के कुछ प्रमुख शहरों में कुछ आतंकी घटनाएं करने की एक साजिश हो रही है, जो कि बॉर्डर के उस पार से है। इसमें एक जब ह्यूमन और टेक्निकल इनपुट्स को एनालाइज किया गया तो देखा कि ये तो कई स्टेट्स में फैला हुआ एक काफ़ी बड़ा नेटवर्क है और आज सुबह इसको ऑपरेशन को कंक्लूड करते हुए हमने सिमल्टेनियसली कई राज्यों में रेड करी। सबसे पहले एक महाराष्ट्र के रहने वाले समीर नाम के आदमी को गिरफ्तार करा है। इसको कोटा में एक ट्रेन में हमने गिरफ्तार करा। उसके बाद 2 आदमी दिल्ली में गिरफ्तार हुए और इनसे जो आगे बातचीत मिली प्लस जो हमारे पास टेक्निकल इनपुट्स थे उसके ऊपर फिर यूपी में, जहां हमारे पास यूपी एटीएस का बहुत क्लोज कोऑपरेशन रहा, यूपी एटीएस के साथ मिलकर हमने 3 लोग वहां से अरेस्ट करे हैं। 2 आदमी ऐसे हैं जो कि अभी अप्रैल में यहां से मस्कट गए थे। यहां से वो बाय एयर गए और वहां से मस्कट से इनको बाय शिप एंड बोट पाकिस्तान ले जाया गया। वहां ग्वादर पोर्ट के पास एक फार्म हाउस में इनको रखा गया और जहां पर कि इनको एक्सप्लोजिव बनाने में और साथ में फायर आर्म्स इंक्लूडिंग AK-47 हैंडल और फायर करने की ट्रेनिंग दी गई। ये ट्रेनिंग लगभग 15 दिन की थी और इस ट्रेनिंग के बाद ये लोग वहां से वापस मस्कट आए।
Pakistan's plot to target the Uttar Pradesh elections has now been exposed. 6 suspected terrorists have been arrested in the joint operation. Near simultaneous raids were conducted by the police in Delhi, in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. 3 of them were arrested from Uttar Pradesh, 1 each from Mumbai, Delhi and Kota. Now, the police has revealed that 2 of these 6 nabbed terrorists have been trained by Pakistan. The police has recovered live IEDs, ammunition as well as explosives from various locations. The police believes that the terrorists were planning to target the upcoming election rallies in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, upcoming festivals were also on their terror radar.
यूपी एटीएस के द्वारा एक महत्वपूर्ण सफलता हासिल करते हुए आईएसआई स्पॉन्सर्ड मॉड्यूल को बस्ट किया गया है तथा 3 लोगों को हिरासत में लिया गया है। यह सफलता उस समय हासिल हुई जब 4 जनपदों में एक साथ रेड की गई। ये जनपद लखनऊ, रायबरेली, प्रतापगढ़ तथा प्रयागराज हैं।
Focusing on the Uttar Pradesh elections, Ayodhya has clearly become the epicenter. After Asaduddin Owaisi, it was the turn of the Aam Aadmi Party that took out a massive Tiranga Yatra in the holy city. AAP leader and Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia also visited Ram Lalla and Hanumangarhi temple as he promised Hindutva with a difference.
The spotlight is firmly on Ayodhya in the upcoming Uttar Pradesh elections. Latest to join the Ayodhya bandwagon is the Aam Aadmi Party, which is making grand plans for the assembly polls.
Hindu Muslim
Aam Aadmi Party took out a Tiranga Yatra in the holy town on Tuesday. One in the long series of yatras it has embarked upon.
Large number of Aam Aadmi Party workers have gathered at this particular place, and from this place they will move to the Gandhi Park, Gulab Badi place to Gandhi Park. As you can see, the members, the workers of Aam Aadmi Party reciting Bharat Mata Ki Jai and other slogans in favor of nationalism, and a national flag in their hands and the cap of Aam Aadmi Party on their head. With this yatra, Aam Aadmi Party has signaled its beginning in the elections of Uttar Pradesh.
As the party kickstarts its election campaign, its top leaders, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and Member of Parliament Sanjay Singh, went on a temple run. Donning traditional gear and chanting prayers.
आम आदमी पार्टी अब सॉफ्ट हिंदुत्व बोलिए, हार्ड हिंदुत्व बोलिए, हमारी राजनीति यही है कि दिल में राम रखिए और बगल में संविधान रखिए। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का चरित्र रहा है कि जब चुनाव वगैरह आते हैं या उस समय तो बात तो राम की करते हैं, लेकिन बगल में छुरी रखते हैं, खड़े बलात्कारियों के साथ होते हैं, काम करते हो राक्षसों जैसे और नाम लेते हो राम का।
The AAP leader's Ayodhya visit was full of political overtones.
मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि कहीं खतरा है। वो योगी जी के मित्र हैं अच्छे, उनकी योगी जी की एक जुगलबंदी चलती रहती है, नूरा कुश्ती चलती रहती है, दिखाने के लिए लड़ते रहते हैं, अंदर पीछे सेटिंग करते रहते हैं।
The Bharatiya Janata Party, which is taking credit for the Ram temple construction in Ayodhya, is not impressed with AAP's sudden foray.
मनीष सिसोदिया और संजय सिंह कालनेमी और मारिच की तरह उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता को ठगने के लिए मंदिर मंदिर घूम रहे हैं और तिरंगा यात्रा और संकल्प यात्रा निकालने की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार के साथ है।
The political temperature is definitely rising in Uttar Pradesh, and Ayodhya has become the epicenter of it. A few days ago, the AIMIM's Asaduddin Owaisi, during his visit to the town, referred to Ayodhya as Faizabad, the erstwhile name of the municipal district.
बोलना शुरू कर दिए कि ओवैसी अयोध्या को नहीं जा रहे हैं, ओवैसी अयोध्या का नाम नहीं लेते हैं। मैंने कहा भाई साहब, अयोध्या भी भारत में है, फैजाबाद भी भारत में है और ओवैसी भी भारत में है।
So from Abba Jan Barbs to Ram Temple to the allegations of appeasement politics, in Uttar Pradesh, the great vote hunt is well and truly on. With Samarth in Ayodhya, Bureau Report, India Today.
So you're seeing all of this politics heating up in Uttar Pradesh. The issues of the common man is getting drowned out. One such issue is the viral fever that's raging across the state of Uttar Pradesh. It's killed nearly 100 people. Many more are struggling right now to get treatment. Here's a ground report from a village where families are forced to actually mortgage their land holdings to get basic treatment for their children.
A mother in tears. Guddi Singh lost her 14-year-old son, Saurabh Chauhan, to the wave of viral fever that has swept Uttar Pradesh, killing nearly 100 people. All she's left with now are memories of her son and a loan of 1 lakh rupees she took to pay for his treatment.
नंसार गया था, फिर हमने यहाँ बुला लिया वो, फिर अम्मा ले गए केयर हॉस्पिटल में, फिर उन्होंने मना कर दी, हाँ, फिर जीआर में ले गए, फिर खत्म हो गया।
मंगलसूत्र वगैरह हैं और चूड़ी पूड़ी अंगूठी वगैरह हैं, ये भी छोटे मोटे जेवरात होते हैं, अपने को रख के अपना इलाज करवाया बच्चे का।
At least 10 children have died of viral fever in Mathura's Koh village, where Saurabh's family lives. There are many like Guddi in Mathura who have mortgaged their land to get the best treatment for their loved ones.
इमरजेंसी में लेना पड़ा, घर पे पैसा था नहीं, मजदूर आदमी है पहली बात तो इसलिए सरकारी में कोई सुविधा मिल रही नहीं है, तो प्राइवेटों को देखने के लिए वगैरह जो है लोन वगैरह लेना पड़ा।
At least 15 members of Harishankar's family got sick in the outbreak. His 8-year-old son wasn't lucky as others. He succumbed.
बच्चे बुखार आया है सर, बच्चे दिखा के लाया हूँ, फिर सुबह ले गए उनको तो भगे, फिर यहाँ तो ले गया हूँ, रास्ता में प्राण छोड़ रहा, हॉस्पिटल तक नहीं पहुँच पाया। एक घर में थे 15-16 लोग हैं हम।
इन सबका इलाज कहाँ सरकारी में कराया आपने?
सर प्राइवेट में करवाया है, सरकारी में कोई सुनवाई नहीं होती है, तो क्या करें सर।
The sad state of affairs is best captured by this viral image of a desperate father falling at the feet of Mathura Chief Medical Officer Rachna Gupta. The whole health infrastructure is overwhelmed.
This medical camp is a 24/7 facility which has been put in place after the dengue outbreak. There's a notice आवश्यक परिस्थिति में एम्बुलेंस चालक को इस नंबर पर बात करे. So if one needs ambulance, then they have put a emergency number. There's one bulb for the lighting of the entire place.
यहाँ से खाली आए मरीज रेफर करते थे माजा स्वर्ण जयंती और माजा माठोरी केडी।
ये चारपाई भी आप लोग खुद लगाएं?
हाँ हमारी खुद सब।
The authorities, however, seem to be living in denial.
वो गांव में 8-10 बच्चों की डेथ हुई थी और उनका समय रहते उपचार कर दिया गया था। एक अस्थायी अस्पताल भी बनाया गया था। इसकी वजह से महामारी पर तुरंत ही काबू कर लिया गया।
This darkness is the state of Koh village in Mathura. The villagers here, several families have mortgaged their properties, have mortgaged their jewelry just to make sure that their loved ones, their children get proper treatment in the private hospitals. They say that they do not believe or trust the government medical facilities. With video journalist Parmendra Sharma, this is Amit Bhardwaj in Mathura for India Today.
Let's get you the latest updates on the battle for Bhabanipur that's playing out in Bengal. After paying a sudden visit to the Sola Ana Masjid on Monday, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will visit a Gurudwara in her constituency today. Didi will be interacting with leaders and representatives of the Sikh community ahead of the by-polls that's slated to happen on September 30th in a bid to woo the non-Bengali voters in the area. Bhabanipur is primarily home to Marwadis, to Gujaratis, Sikhs and Hindi-speaking communities who first came in the 17th century. There are about 90,000 Bengali voters and 50,000 non-Bengali voters also in Bhabanipur. The number of Muslim voters in the seat is about 45,000. Didi will also be meeting non-Bengali voters on the 16th, where she'll hear the grievances of the community members. The non-Bengali speaking voters in Bhabanipur mount a serious challenge to the electoral machine of the TMC because BJP has been cashing in on their votes in their state. The TMC Supremo's message to Hindi speakers on the occasion of Hindi Divas yesterday has already irked her supporters in Bengal, as Didi has been consistent with her outsider's jibe at the BJP. Let's get you now a report on the situation in Gujarat. Floods leaving a long trail of destruction in some districts, particularly in Jamnagar district. Water is receding, but the real extent of damage suffered is visible now. Here's a ground report filed by my colleague Vidya.
Dams overflowing. Rivers in rage, flooded roads, dramatic rescue operations. Past few days have been extremely testing for the people in Jamnagar district. And these images tell the story of the havoc that the flood have left behind. The extent of loss is beyond description. Railway tracks damaged, roads destroyed,
There's a river called Ruparel which just passes by this village, and because of the water inundation in that river, the entire water level had risen, and because of this, the entire Ekimrana village got flooded.
As flood waters slowly subside, the villagers say they are left to fend for themselves.
पानी निकल
गया, बधाने अनाज पलटी गया है। अनाज पूरा खराब थे, खाने पीने के लिए कुछ नहीं हम पास।
झटका चला गया और गेंडा पाइपे 400 फुट गेंडो वही गयो, ये बड़ी वही गयो है।
The floods are the first big test for the newly sworn-in Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel. The Chief Minister visited the flood-ravaged areas to take stock of rescue operations. For 55-year-old cloth merchant Kader Abdul Ghaffar, the future is not looking bright. His goods have been completely destroyed by the flood water.
कितना नुकसान हुआ?
2 लाख अंदाज।
2 लाख। अभी ये साड़ियों का ये सब जो आप बिजनेस करते क्या करोगे आप?
अभी आधा कीमत में बेचना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो जो चलेगा तो सही, नहीं तो ऐसे ही बस।
ये सबको धो के आप?
जो चलेगा तो सही आधा कीमत में, नहीं तो ऐसे ही बस।
Like Kader Abdul, many other families are facing a similar predicament.
आज कोई बिजली है नहीं, कल सुबह से ही बिजली चली गई है, अब तक अजी आई नहीं है।
और खाना वाना जो आपके अनाज वनाज रखा था वो भी बर्बाद हो गया?
ये सब कुछ चला गया।
In Gujarat's hour of crisis, the Indian Air Force's help proved crucial. Helicopters were called in to rescue those marooned in far-flung villages. The people of Jamnagar are hopeful that the worst of the flood is now over. Gujarat has received 15% of its seasonal rain in just the last 1 week. The Met Department has now warned of more rainfall this week. With Vidya in Jamnagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's start your day off on the right note by getting you a good news story as well. This time our report is from a remote village in Bihar where a Hindu neighborhood has taken up the task of preserving a 200-year-old mosque. A message of harmony in these times of discord. Take a look.
In an increasingly polarized world, a village in Bihar's Nalanda is a textbook example of liberalism and open-mindedness. Madhi, a small village in Nalanda, no longer has any Muslim residents. But the villagers are preserving a 200-year-old mosque and even keeping it functional. There is no Maulvi to perform the Azan call. Still, the Azan is being played 5 times a day with a recording on a pen drive.
मुसलमानों का यहाँ से पलायन हो गया, अभी कोई भी यहाँ मुस्लिम नहीं रहते हैं, तो हिंदू लोग ही इस पूरे प्रांगण का देखरेख करते हैं और हिंदू को तो आता नहीं अजान देना, इसलिए मोमोरी काट के थोड़ा ही इनका अजान किया जाता है।
The village used to have a sizable Muslim population, but people gradually migrated to cities in search of job. Today, the mosque is considered a holy charm. If there is an auspicious occasion, everybody in Madhi stops by at the mosque to pay their respect. As they go about their simple way of life, the people of Madhi are a striking model of what communal harmony really means. Bureau Report, India Today.
UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath sets the tone for state elections that are just a few months away. At an event in Kushinagar to launch development projects, it was this one comment by the CM that stood out.
क्या ये राशन 2017 के पहले भी मिलता था? क्योंकि तब तो अब्बा जान कहने वाले राशन हजम कर जाते थे.
Adityanath's remarks provoked sharp reactions from his political rivals. Rahul Gandhi tweeted this jibe at the UP Chief Minister, saying how can someone who spreads hatred be called a yogi? SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav also did not hold back.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार का जाना तय है और इसीलिए सरकार के मुखिया की भाषा बदल गई है।
इन लोगों की राजनीति इसी पे टिकी है। लोगों को लड़ाते रहो, कभी अब्बाजान की बात कर लो, कभी ओवैसी की बात कर लो। जब जनता पूछती है भाई स्कूल कहाँ है, मैं तो आम आदमी के रूप में आया था लखनऊ में स्कूल ढूंढने, भाई स्कूल बता दो कहाँ बनवाए। अब्बाजान की बात करेंगे, जरा ये भी तो बोले जो दफनाए गए थे गंगा नदी में वो कौन थे?
AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi lashed out at Yogi Adityanath, saying the UP Chief Minister was spreading lies.
प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण आवास योजना में 2017 का मैं आपका 2017-18 का फिगर दे रहा हूं। कितने घर दिए मुसलमानों को आपने? 10 दिए। पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश को आए कितने? झूठ पे झूठ इनकी, तो ये झूठ है इनका।
Yogi Adityanath's comments kicked off a social media frenzy, with Twitterati posting pictures with their fathers using the hashtag Abbajan. Veteran actor Nasiruddin Shah also criticized the Abbajan narrative.
When we have absurd statements like love jihad and now narcotics jihad being made by a priest who, I don't know under whose influence he said a thing like that. But this is meant to alienate, or the Abbajan statement made by the Chief Minister of UP recently, which is beneath contempt.
The BJP, however, chose to 100% back the UP Chief Minister.
भाषा को भी हम धर्म के साथ जोड़कर, संप्रदाय के साथ जोड़कर, सांप्रदायिक ध्रुवीकरण की बात करेंगे तो विपक्ष वास्तव में इसका दुरुपयोग करके ध्रुवीकरण कराना चाहता है। उत्तर प्रदेश के चुनाव से पहले उत्तर प्रदेश में सांप्रदायिक दंगा कराना चाहती है।
बिजली आ रही है क्या? कांग्रेस की सरकार के समय बिजली आती थी क्या? और अब्बाजान वालों की?
For the BJP, Hindutva once again seems to be the core election plank. Apart from his Abbajan jibes, Chief Minister Adityanath also made it a point to take credit for the Ayodhya Ram Mandir.
अयोध्या में भगवान राम का भव्य मंदिर आप देख रहे हैं ना? क्या कांग्रेस रहती बनाती? क्या सपा रहती बनाती? क्या बहन जी रहती बनाती? क्या ओवैसी रहते तो क्या मंदिर बनाते?
Yogi Adityanath is facing one of his toughest political fights in Uttar Pradesh. The CM's latest remarks indicate that the Saffron Party is back to its tried and tested election formula as he tries to overcome the unexpected hurdles thrown up by the second COVID wave and farmer protests. Bureau Report, India Today.
अब्बाजान कहने वाले राशन हजम कर जाते थे।
And this morning, let's get you the big political headline from West Bengal as well. Litmus test for Mamata Banerjee, the battle for Bhabanipur, where she seeks to get into the assembly again and ensure that she keeps intact the CM chair. Now, Mamata Banerjee, in an effort to woo voters, is going to be visiting a Gurudwara today. And why this is significant is because Mamata is attempting to reach out to also the non-Bengali voters in Bhabanipur, a crucial constituent really of the voters in the constituency. If they turn against Mamata, it will mean trouble for her. She had paid a sudden visit to the Solana Masjid in Bhabanipur on Monday. Today she is going to be visiting a Gurudwara in the constituency. Didi will be interacting with leaders and representatives of the Sikh community ahead of the by-polls that's scheduled to happen on September 30th in a bid to woo non-Bengali voters in the area. Now, Bhabanipur is primarily home to Marwadis, to Gujaratis, Sikhs and the Hindu-speaking communities who first came in the 17th century. There are about 90,000 Bengali voters, 50,000 non-Bengali voters in Bhabanipur, and the number of Muslim voters in the seat is about 45,000. Mamata will also meet with non-Bengali voters on the 16th tomorrow. She's going to be listening to them, addressing their issues also. The non-Bengali speaking voters in Bhabanipur mount a serious challenge to the electoral machine of the TMC because BJP has been cashing in on their votes so far in the state. The TMC Supremo's message to Hindi speakers also on the occasion of Hindi Divas on Tuesday has also irked many of her supporters in Bengal because she has time and again, of course, taken that jibe about outsiders to the BJP. Let's get you now this report from Karnataka. A few days ago, we'd reported about how there were massive protests and outrage over the demolition of a temple in Karnataka. Now, you had the Congress up in arms, you had the VHP also protesting. All of that has triggered Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai to react. He's halted the demolition and said that there will be a proper consultation done before any such demolition is taken up.
Mysuru's Nanjanagudu temple being razed to the ground. The demolition that followed a Supreme Court order against illegal structures has sparked a political war in Karnataka. The Congress has hit out at the BJP government in the state, claiming the temple is an ancient monument.
This BJP MP, if it was a Congress government, how would he have behaved? What about all the other BJP workers, RSS members? Why are they all suddenly quiet today?
The state authorities have rejected Congress charges. They claim the temple was only 12 years old and did not feature in the Archaeological Survey of India's map. The opposition uproar, however, has forced CM Basavaraj Bommai to order a halt to the demolition drive.
ನಾನು ಸದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಏನು ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ರಮ ಯಾಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನೋಟಿಸನ್ನು ತಹಸೀಲ್ದಾರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ DC ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಅವಸರದ ಕ್ರಮ, ತುರ್ತು ಕ್ರಮ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡೆಯುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು. ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ನ ಸಮಗ್ರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
There is anger within the Sangh Parivar over the Mysuru temple demolition. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad held street protests against the government's drive.
ಏನು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟತೆ ಇದೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಯಾವ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೊದಲು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರೈಸ್ ಗೊಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕಿರುವಂತಹ ಊರ್ಜಿತಗೊಳಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ತದನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಥಳಾಂತರ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು.
The feud started with the Supreme Court's direction to the Karnataka government to remove illegal religious structures. Karnataka State Chief Secretary wrote to Deputy Commissioners on July 1st stating that Karnataka has 6,395 unauthorized religious structures in public places. A big jump from 5,688 on September 29, 2009. In 12 years, the state government was able to demolish, relocate or regulate only 2,887 structures. The State Chief Secretary had directed officials to demolish at least one illegal structure per division. The BJP, which is often accused of playing temple politics, finds the tables turned this time. While it may have temporarily salvaged the situation, the Bommai government will have to look for ways to execute the Supreme Court order. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
We take this across now to Nolan Pinto. He's joining us live from Bengaluru with all the details on the story. Nolan, good morning. Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai clearly giving in to the pressure from the opposition, from the VHP and many right-wing groups by halting the demolition, the further demolition at least, of religious structures. Damage has already been done in Mysuru. There's nothing that the Chief Minister can do to undo that. But considering that there's a Supreme Court order on demolishing illegal structures, can the government really step in and halt it?
Well, Akshita, this is what he said last evening, and we must remember that this issue actually came out in the House yesterday when the session was in place. Now, the Chief Minister said that, I want to quote him, he said, there should be no emergency or hurried action to demolish temples anywhere in the state. And not just that, to answer what you asked, he actually says we will comprehensively study the Supreme Court order and then issue specific directions. This is what he has stated. So this is not a complete halt as such of the demolition drive, because in 2009, this is when the Supreme Court had come out with the order. July 1st, the Chief Secretary sent an order to all the Deputy Commissioners, Tahsildars in the state, stating that there are 6,000 plus illegal religious structures. So per week, per taluk, per division, one illegal religious structure has to be demolished, relocated, and so on and so forth. So as of now, it is a temporary halt. They will look into this. They will have to try and salvage whatever damage has actually taken place, because it was not just the opposition hammering them, it was their own party men. In fact, Mathura MP Pratap Simha had publicly chided the government.
Okay.
So it's basically a temporary halt.
So there's been pressure from within also that the Chief Minister has given into. Nolan, thank you very much for joining us with all those details. The wait has finally ended. Apple has released the latest iPhone, the iPhone 13, in a mega event. This was streamed live from California. The iPhone 13 was released. Here's how it looks. And let me also tell you about all of the features that Apple has announced. Remember that there's been a new lineup really of Apple products that's been released. Like last year's model, the new iPhone 13 will come in 4 different designs. The iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, 13 Pro and also Pro Max. The prices start from 70,000, go right up as expected to 1,30,000. The screen size of all 4 variants is the same. The overall design is very similar to really their respective predecessors. In India, pre-orders will start on September 17th. They're scheduled to be in stores by September 24th. Possibly the most notable change in the latest high-end iPhone 13 will be an option of storage up to 1 TB. Apple is also promising better cameras on the iPhone 13, including an improved ultra-wide lens, a cinematic-like video feature, and technology for better nighttime pictures. The company promises 1.5 hours better battery life on the iPhone 13 mini and iPhone 13 Pro compared to their predecessors, while the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro Max boast of 2.5 hours better battery life.
iPad mini is in a class of its own, and today we're giving our littlest iPad